fat bitch. Jenny Craig pushing weight, shift the package. Pockets on Lizzo, nigga, I got rack, bitch. Make the money stretch, call me Mr. Fantastic. Big K, he gon' learn today, scholastics. School shooter, man, that shit is so tragic. Drama class, make a scene so dramatic. Slice melon with the chopper, it's automatic.
Man, yo, what's going on, you sexy ass motherfuckers? It's me. I'm back at it again, and today we're gonna be doing the redo for What If Asta had Eisenzahnpakto, but now I'm gonna rename it because I fucking hated the way I named it. So now it's gonna be What If Asta had Kyoka Suigetsu, which is the name of Eisenzahnpakto. I don't know why I named it like that, but I just did. But now it's slicker. Even the thumbnail, I fucking love the way it turned out, bro. I love it. It gives it like a nice contrast, right? You got Eisen, right? But then you got Mimosa in a school uniform from like one of the endings, and it just looks, oh, I fucking love it. But if you tell me something that you notice within the thumbnail, it's like a secret. It's supposed to be a secret, but it's pretty fucking noticeable. If you don't notice it, what's wrong with you, Chieftain? But other than that, hey, my fault. It's been a long time coming. But after this, we're gonna be doing Yujiro Hanma, which is gonna release after this video. And then I'm gonna set out the next schedule that I'm gonna try to follow. But other than that, let's get into this story, you sexy sons of bitches. Alright, we start off the story where Asta is left at the church by his mother. Now, his mother, let's cut to that, right? His mother was impregnated by someone not of the Black Clover world. It was actually a person from another world. He was a Soul Reaper. Now, this is going to play a big part into why Asta is able to do what he can do and why he has so much of what he has. His father was a Soul Reaper. I'm not going to get into the explanation of his father, right? But Soul Reapers are able to cross into other worlds by accidental. And the reason being, because if you know in the manga, I believe, if you guys aren't that far enough, I might be wrong about this, but there are 3 worlds in there. There's Earth, there's Hueco Mundo, and then there is the Soul Reaper Society. Now, those are separated, I believe, if I'm correct. Now, those are the 3 visible ones, but some people accidentally cross over into other worlds and never find a way to get back. And some do. It's just by chance. So, Asta's father, he found a way to get back, but he didn't want to leave Lucita and, their other child, Libe. And the reason Asta wasn't, taken care of by his father is because his father kind of didn't want him yet. He didn't feel like he was going to be a good father, and so he just left him at the church with Lucita. When they got back, time passed and Libe came, and he got connected with Libe, same with Lucita, and he was a great father, but when they finally thought about Asta, it was already too late. He already had a family, he already had this, that, and the third, so they didn't want to take him out of there, so they just let him grow up and live his new life that he has now, and not the life that he should have had. So, he does die when Lucifero is trying to get Libe, because he did cross from the underworld into the earth, or into, I don't know how to fucking call it, but it is like Earth realm, kind of like Mortal Kombat type shit. I don't know, regular world, alright? And he was trying to get his body so that he could get into this, but it failed because Lucita had the curse. And the reason his father, Asta's father, wasn't affected was because it just didn't work on him. It couldn't. He was from another world. Those laws didn't apply to him. But magic did still work on him. It was just a curse. So this is gonna play a big part. What I'm saying is that curses can't work on Asta's father. So if you can make an inference on what that means, you're gonna be able to get why certain things won't work on Asta either. Now, we're gonna stop there and we're gonna cut to Asta's story. We're gonna cut to the night he got left at the church. Now, when Asta was left at the church, obviously Yuna was left there afterwards. Like, I believe a couple of minutes, right? Because the soldier, or one of the butlers, from Yuno's royal family, royal lineage, sent him there because he was badly injured. He couldn't do shit. And so, when the father opens up the door, he sees the two little kids, right? Two babies, and he picks them up and he notices their clothes. They're well made. Yuno's clothes are, kind of like garments, royal garments, made for someone of high nobility or high class. Asta's though is it's kind of like a small shuhakusho, like the things that Soul Reapers wear. He also has a necklace. It's a katana, and it's all gold. Besides, when you get to the katana, because the katana is gold, but the handle, that is like the color of the background slash thumbnail, right? Because like the demon that's in the background, that's Asta's demon, like that type of color, right? And it's like that. So basically, all gold. The katana is gold, but the handle is that type of color in the background. And we obviously cut to The father examines He sees his clothes are all white. That he has his name. Also, Asta has his name as well on his stuff. And he also has a necklace, and it's like a blue stone, it's like a cross in between it with like I believe 4 symbols next to it. And the chain is also gold or copper, I don't know. And the father looks at these two and he says that these two kids, they're not related at all, but they seem so similar. They have a necklace, their name is imprinted onto their clothes, they're in the same kind of basket type thing. They were both left here on the same day, same night. That's such a coincidence, and it seems like they're almost the exact same age. As the father looks at both the boys and he says, "Alright then, I guess I'll take these two in." As he puts them in a room and he goes to sleep for the night. And that's where we do a time skip. A time skip to where is getting picked on by the drunk old man. And the guy takes his necklace, as in canon. But Asta gets there, a little later because Yuno's been taking a minute, he's been taking a while. And so when Asta gets there and he sees that this drunk old man is trying to steal the necklace of his beloved little brother, because I'm gonna say Asta's like the big brother, he gets pissed off and his his veins start bulging out a little, and he gets serious and mad when he usually is like more calm, cool, and collected. He's not like who's very introverted, very calm, like very non-talkative. He can express himself, but he decides to keep calm, cool, and collected. But when he sees his brother getting almost beaten up for his necklace, he gets mad. And so when that happens, he leaks a little bit of Ryatsu out from his body that he doesn't know he has, right? He doesn't notice it either. The only people who notice it is and the drunk guy. And when the Ryatsu is released, it kind of like crushes them, like they cannot move at all. As Asta moves towards the old man, as he punches him. As a 6-year-old doesn't have that much power, or they shouldn't have that much power, but Asta's a different breed, bro. Because if you remember in canon, he kicked the father back with a little kick as a baby. Bro, you know how hard that would be? So, he definitely has a lot of natural strength. So when he hits the guy actually gets knocked out. And, when Asta finally calms down, the Ryatsu leaves. And Yuno's like, what was that, Asta? As he responds with, what are you talking about? As Yuno's like, you didn't feel that? As Asta responds with, no, I don't know what you're talking about. As says, okay then, let's just go home. As, they both go home. And, days go by and they train with each other a lot, but since it's kind of known that Asta has no magic at all, nothing, and has a lot of fucking magic, he's very exceptional with it, and he has wind magic. Asta gets a little pissed off because he's like, why the fuck don't I have magic? Why don't I have magic when I'm physically better than when I could probably do more, I'm smarter than him, like. So what ends up happening is that on off days, when him and are like training, which is a lot. He has a lot of off days that he doesn't train because they aren't serious about becoming Magic Knights or the Wizard King yet, because Asta didn't say anything about becoming the Wizard King. So Asta just, goes to the forest and trains a lot. Like he trains his muscles, his body, and he trains his endurance as well. Until one day, he sees a creature and a person fighting, and this creature is screaming a lot, and it has a hole in its chest. It's a hollow, but he doesn't know this yet. As he approaches it, and he hides somewhere. As the person who's fighting, the hollow, he has a shuhakusho, the same thing that Asta had when he was brought to the church, and he still has his clothes that he had, and he's like, huh, how does he have that? I thought I was the only one who had that. And he gets more intrigued by the guy, but then out of nowhere, suddenly the monster hits the Soul Reaper so hard that it makes him cough up blood, and he gets a little bit of broken ribs. As the Soul Reaper lands next to Asta, surprisingly. As Asta kind of jumps back and he's like, whoa. As the Soul Reaper looks around, he's like, where am I? As he turns around, he hears the voice of Asta saying, whoa. As he's like, you kid, get out of here, please. As Asta's like, no, I can help you. As the guy's like, no, you can't. It's too strong for you. As then the kid's like, but why? Why can't I help you? I'm strong enough. Stop looking down on me like everyone else. As the Soul Reaper sees the courage in his eyes, and he's like, damn it. I hate doing this to you, kid, but it might be the only way. As what the Soul Reaper does is that he puts his hand onto Asta, and he transfers his powers to him, awakening the already dormant and latent potential that Asta had within him. And when this happens, his Ryatsu is exponentially, added upon and multiplied. As when Asta feels this new surge of power, he feels amazing, he feels great. As when he looks towards the hollow, even his Ryatsu is enough to crush it down onto the floor. As the Soul Reaper is surprised, he's like, oh, damn, I can't even move, and I'm a lieutenant. It's such a shame I had to give my powers to this young boy. Me, a lieutenant, losing to a single hollow. Oh, how pathetic I am. Hey kid, can you lock some of that away, please? It's kind of hurting. As Asta looks back towards him, he's like, what are you talking about? As the guy's like, your Ryatsu, it's a lot. It might even be bigger than my captain's. No, you have more in you. This isn't even your full extent. Amazing. You must be someone from great powers, from great Ryatsu. I'll ask you questions about that later, but for now, just defeat that hollow. As Asta, who now has a sword, is like, yes sir. As he jumps up into the air, and with one swing he splits it in half. As the hollow just falls to the ground. As then the Soul Reaper says, now put the cap of your sword, the bottom of it, on its skull. That'll let it pass on. As Asta's like, you're talking about this? As he points to the bottom of his sword. He's like, yes, that. As Asta does as he's told, and he puts it on the hollow. As it starts glowing white, and then it disappears, scattering. As now the guy's like, what's your name, kid? As Asta says, my name? My name's Asta. I don't have a last name. As the guy's like, well, I don't either. My name? My name's Spade. As Asta's like, oh, well, nice to meet you, Spade, but you looked a little beat up there. You want help? As Spade responds with, yeah, help would be appreciated. I'm, uh, I'm going to take a nap, if you don't mind. As Asta says, no, I don't mind, sir. Just wait here, I'll bring help in a little bit. As Asta runs off, finds a doctor within High Village as he brings him towards the injured Soul Reaper. As the doctor looks at him, he says, these are kind of serious wounds, but nothing I can't fix because he does have healing magic. So he opens his grimoire and he starts healing the Soul Reaper. As Spade wakes up and he's like, huh? What is this? As Asta says, what? What do you mean? This is magic. It's a grimoire. He's healing you. As Spade is like, a grimoire? What do you mean? I've never heard of that. And magic? Don't make me laugh, kid. As Asta's like, no, I'm being completely serious. This is magic. Are you sure you're okay, mister? As Spade's like, magic doesn't exist. Grimoires especially don't exist. Are you sure you're not, okay, kid? As Asta's like, we're in the Clover Kingdom. This world runs on magic. What are you talking about? As Spade's like, wait a minute. Clover King. Oh shit. As then he notices his predicament. He's like, oh, I must have traveled to a wrong world by accident. What a dumbass I am. Fuck. As Asta's like, what do you mean? Spade? How did you travel to a wrong world? You can't travel through worlds. As Spade's like, oh my gosh, you idiot. Actually, you wouldn't understand. I'm a soul reaper. I'm a person who guides souls into the afterlife, Especially the monster you were fighting, that was a soul. It got corrupted, it stayed in the world too much. It got held by its, past. It got too attached. As Asta's like, what are you talking about, Mr. Souls? As then Spade's like, damn it, kid. Fine, I'll explain it all to you. I'm a Soul Reaper. I have the ability to travel between worlds. My world only has 3. One called Soul Society, another called Waco Mundo, and then we have Earth. They're split off between the 3 of each other, but on certain occasions by accidental, certain Soul Reapers can travel between other worlds that aren't visible to the human eye. And they can get stuck there forever or find a way to get back. It's all chance, kid. It's all chance. And me, I'm a lieutenant. We have special rankings within our soul society. We have the Gote 13 head captains, then their lieutenants, then their squad members, and so on and so forth. I'm the second command of Squad 11. My captain, Kenpachi Zaraki, he's a wild man, but he's getting up there in age, He's getting a little rusty with it. But kid, I don't know when I'm gonna leave this dimension, this planet or whatever. So it seems like you have a massive amount of Ryatsu, and I see a lot of potential within you. I don't know who your father or mother were, but one of them was a Soul Reaper. I know that for a fact. So, I'm gonna teach you everything I know, kid. As they train for years on end. Not telling, or the church. Only the doctor, Asta, and Spade. Those are the only 3 people that know about each other. No one else knows about them. It's all kept secret. The doctor didn't care, so he just left. He decided not to say anything about it because, a promise is a promise, He's a man of his word, so he said nothing about Spade and Asta training with each other. And when Asta turns 13, with several years of training, approximately, I believe, 7 to 8 years of training, um, you know, Spade finally gets the ability to go back home. And even though he has built a strong relationship with Asta, he says, I want to go back. I want to, see my friends and my family, my wife, because he had a wife and he hasn't been able to see her for a while. So, yeah. And so Asta's like, no, I completely understand. After all, I now have my Zanpakuto, and I'm about to figure out its name. As Spade is like, oh, so, why don't you figure out its name right now? I'll even put money on it. As Asta's like, money? You don't even have money, you broke son of a bitch. As Spade's like, hey, don't talk to me like that, you little bastard. As Asta's like, yeah. As he says, alright then, I guess I'll see it what its name is now. As he starts going into meditation with the sword. As he enters a landscape, as he sees his manifestation of the sword, the will of the sword. As, they start conversating, and the sword says, you have to make me submit to you for you to use me. As Asta says, alright then. Let's fight. As the fighting in there goes on for days on end, while outside it's only been 10 minutes. And so, when Asta finally wins, approximately like 2 months of fighting, constant fighting in that world, while outside it's only been 30 minutes, Asta finally gets the upper hand, and he makes his sword submit to him. He makes Kyoka Suigetsu submit to him and his will. Then it tells him his name, and he says, my power is yours to use and master. It was good fighting you. As Asta finally gets into the real world again, and he says, how long has it been? As Spade says, it's only been 30 minutes. As Asta is like, well, what do you say? I figured out its name. As Spade says, oh, well, what's its name then, Asta? As he says, Kyoka Suigetsu. As in Spade kind of gasps. He's like, ugh. Say that again, please. Kyoka Suigetsu. Why? Is there something wrong? As then Spade says, that's the same Zanpakuto Aizen had. Because in there, I'm gonna say Aizen died. He was able to be killed. He got bored of everything, so he just let himself die, and his Zanpakuto kind of left with him, but it was able to be recreated. And so, I forgot what the man's name is, but the person who creates all the Zanpakutos and shit, he created another version of it. And that one now has a Bankai, because if you know this, Aizen never revealed his Bankai. I don't even think he wanted to get one, because the Shikai was already OP as fuck. So, the person who creates Zanpakutos in the Soul Society, he decided to, you know what? Fuck it! I'll make another version of Kyoka Suigetsu. And so he gave that one a Bankai, and you can remember from the first series of this, you already know what's coming. The Bankai is called Reality. Now, he did give it a limited number of uses, but Asta is going to be able to do whatever he wants with those limited numbers of uses. So if he wants someone dead, he can do it. If he wants someone erased from time, he can do it. Do whatever the fuck he wants to do. So, yeah, this series is going to be a clusterfuck and a slaughter fest. So if you're into that shit, well then you've come to the right place, my good sir. Or my good ma'am, whatever. Or whatever you identify as. I don't know. But, yes. So, now Spade is kind of like, oh shit. So he has Kyoka Suigetsu, which is Mirror Water Flower Moon, which Shikai gives you complete hypnosis, and I don't even know what the fuck the Bankai does, because we were never shown it by Aizen. Should I kill him? As, Asta's, just sitting there admiring his fucking sword. He's like, damn, this whole clean, this, as he kind of goes like, on the sword, and he kind of wipes it down a little. He's like, dang, look at the shine. This is something. He looks at the handle, and he's like, wait a minute. As he looks at his necklace, as he sees that it's the same color, as he's like, huh, what a coincidence. Or maybe not. Who knows? Maybe my father and mother already knew I was going to get this sword. Well, damn. I like them even more now. As, Spade says, Asta, let me have a talk with you. As Asta's like, alright then. As, they have a talk about Aizen. And Asta, after the conversation, is like, oh, damn. Oh, I didn't know that this sword was held by such an evil man. Spade is like, Asta, promise me you will never become like that man. As Asta says, I promise, I will never become like that man, Sosuke Aizen. I will try to bring stability and balance into this world. That is my goal, and I'll achieve it by almost any means necessary. But there are certain boundaries I won't cross, Spade. You know that already. As Spade nods and he says, that's what I like about you, Asta. I view you as a sort of son to me, As Asta's like, yeah, you're like the father I've never had. As, the father over there at the church, he sneezes. He's like, huh, someone might be talking about me. As Asta's like, yeah. I wish I met my father and mother just once. And Spade's like, yeah, maybe. Maybe you still can. Who knows? But, I guess this is the part where we part ways. Asta. As Asta stands up, Spade does as well. As they give each other a hug. A very long hug. And they finally say goodbye. For the final time. And, when they each leave and get to the other side, or where Asta is in the forest, they both let out a single tear. And it's a very memorable moment for Asta. Because it's only a relationship that's known by him, Spade, and the irrelevant doctor. No one else knows about it. Not even As Asta's like, well, thank you for teaching me everything you knew, Spade. I'll make sure I'll make this world right by your name as well. As he sticks his sword into the ground, as he meditates for the rest of the day. As we time skip 2 years, Asta has now mastered his Shikai, but his Bankai is something that he's taking time on. Even his Zanpakuto told him to take time on it, because if he doesn't, use it correctly, it can have devastating consequences. Because as you know, everything has an equal and opposite reaction. Everything has a price to pay. So, if he messes up using his Bankai, it could be dangerous. And so Asta says, okay, and he takes time. It'll take him a few, but he's almost done getting the hang of it. As, when they turn 15, the day for the Grimoire selection has come upon them. As we haven't talked about so let's get to him. Over those 2 years, he's gotten exponentially stronger because Asta has been fighting with him a lot, and he didn't know where this newfound, I believe the word is vigor, or like this newfound, motivation and craving for strength and absolute power came from Asta, but he likes it. And it gives him more of an incentive to try harder and harder, to train more and more, so that he can live up to the title of being his rival, standing side to side next to him, you know, as now they both have the goal of becoming the Wizard King, but Asta also has the goal of not only becoming Wizard King, not only becoming king, but bringing the entire world under one singular flag, tearing down all the nobility, all the royalty, all that bullshit that he hates, to unify everyone in one singular nation. That is his dream. Becoming Wizard King is only a stepping stone, in his eyes at least. As when they get to the Grimoire selection, you know, Austin, get in there, as there are nobles over there, as they look upon them with disgust and you know hatred for some reason. Even though they've done nothing to them, they still kind of hate them, and so they feel the eyes, looking at them. But there are some commoners, and there is a pair of royals, a brother and a sister. And if you don't know who this is, the sister is the girl on the screen, Mimosa Vermilion, and the brother, who honestly I forgot his name, is there as well, as this girl looks upon Asta with his big frame and demeanor. In canon, Asta is 5 foot, and Aizen is 6 foot fucking 1. And so I'm making Asta 6'1", because I can. Because he also has the genetics. We also know who his father is, the Soul Reaper. Who knows? His father might even be Aizen himself. But I'll leave that up to the imagination of you guys. So we cut back into the, Grimoire selection. As Mimosa is looking at this man known as Asta. As she kinda attracted, like it's kinda like love at first sight. And so, Yuno's walking up there as well, as some girls are looking at him, some nobles are like, damn, that commoner though, like shit. Fuck. Like I don't wanna feel like this, but like I might have to break the taboo, bro. I might have to break it. And some of the commoners as well are falling for Yuno. Asta, he's not getting looked at because they kind of see him as scary because of the way he looks and the way he holds himself. He's also not wearing regular clothes. He's wearing a shuhakusho that Spade gave to him. And, it's kind of like an interesting design. It's kind of like the same design as Aizen in this right now. And so some people are like, whoa, what is he wearing? But Mimosa, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like she's falling in love, She's falling in love. And so, she wants to go talk to him, but she already knows that her brother's gonna say some shit if she goes talk to a commoner. So like she restrains herself. She restrains herself. But she's definitely gonna meet him up sometime soon. As Asta, he's just there because he can. He doesn't need to be there. He just came there because was going. He was like, yeah, I was bored anyways. So that's why he went. And Yuno's like, come on, man, just look a little more livelier. Zoss is just like, I don't feel like I'm looking more livelier. I only came here because you came here and I was bored. I'm also a little tired, so no, don't tell me that. Look at yourself first, too. Do you look like you're even half excited for this shit? No. So, yeah. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. As, Yuno is like, alright, man. Whatever you say. And so, the old man who owns the tower comes out and, he says, welcome. Hopefully you all will receive fine grimoires today, and maybe even some of you will become magic knights. Who knows? But let the grimoire selections begin. as everyone left and right are receiving, 1-leaf grimoires, 2-leaf grimoires, 3-leaf grimoires, but no one's received a 4-leaf yet. Until almost everyone who's received one, even Mimosa, you know, they've all received their grimoire, but there's only 2 people who are left. And Asta. And some people are looking at them intently, as out of nowhere the room brightens up a lot, considerably, as this bright golden light just comes out of the ceiling and it floats down towards Yuna. As when touches it, it stops glowing and it reveals itself to be a 4-leaf clover with a green color to it, a light green color, and gold trimming. As everyone in the room screams and shouts, surprise, gasping, nobles breaking shit. Like, bro, what the fuck? This commoner, this little fucking commoner, got a 4-leaf fucking clover? Impossible, outrageous. Mimosa's brother is even more pissed off because he's a royal and he doesn't even have a 4-leaf. Mimosa, on the other hand, she's calm about it. She doesn't really care. As everyone is just out there outrageous as fuck. Revchi, the guy who tries to at least steal Austin, his grimoire. He's there, kind of like snicking. He's like, I'm about to steal that shit. I'm about to sell it on the black market or something. As Asta kind of smirks. He's like, good job, you got a 4-leaf clover. That's one of the rarest ones. Although I have heard urban legends, you could say, about another one being even rarer. I heard it's called a 5-leaf. Never seen one in person though, so who knows? It might all be lies. And then out of nowhere, as soon people started looking at Asta and saying that at least this commoner knows their place and snickering at him, laughing, just to get the anger out of them. Or like the commoners kind of laughing at him too, because how do you not get a grimoire, right? But little do they know that Asta could wipe them all out with basically just a slash of their sword. Not even, bro. He could use like a Hada or Bakudo spell and wipe the floor with them in an instant. But then out of nowhere, all you hear is a boom and a boom and a boom. Walls being crashed and turned to rubble. And then after a while, it goes deaf. And then it crashes into the wall of the Grimoire Tower. And all you see is this black book emanating red aura, black mixed into it as well, as people are kind of frightened by this bone-chilling feeling that just came into the room when that book came into the room as well. As an Asta smiles as he says, how do I get a grimoire without having magic? That should be impossible. Unless... ah, yes. As he looks into the book more carefully as it's right in front of him, as he says, a 5-leaf clover, huh? It's said to hold a devil in it. Ugh. Perfect. As he touches the book, and then, out of nowhere, all the black, charred, dirtiness of the book goes into one singular spot in front of the book. It's pitch black. A pitch black 5-leaf clover, while the rest of the book is white. As Asta says, I must have changed it just by touching it. That was accidental. And then he notices something. Another presence inside the book. As he says, interesting. I'll look into this later. As he puts it into a satchel that gave to him. As he looks around and he says, now, what are you all laughing at? I could kill you all right now. As when he takes out his Zanpakuto just a little out of its sheath. This energy, this aura that comes off of Asta starts crushing the people around him. The only person who's not affected is Just because Asta has that much control over his Ryatsu. And everyone is starting to fall onto their knees. The floor beneath him is starting to crack. As the old man is infected as well. Because, he's an old man. Why would he do that to him? He had nothing to do with it. As, he notices this girl out of the corner of his eye with bright ginger hair. As he looks onto her and he kind of sees that, damn, she's cute. It's really pretty. As he loosens the Ryatsu near her, as she's able to stand up, as she looks towards Asta, and when Asta locks eye contact with her, she blushes, looks away, and then Asta's like, oh, I'll follow up with that later as well. This seems like an eventful day. Maybe it was good that I came here on a whim. Or maybe it was destiny who made me come here. All will be known in the future. All will be known. As he lets go of his Ryatsu on everyone, and everyone gets up and they start running out of there. And, looks at Austin, he says, really? Was that necessary? You got your Grimoire. What else did you want? As Austin's like, what else do I want? They have to know their place. Just because you have a higher class than someone else, just because you're a noble, a royal, a commoner, it doesn't matter. When face to face with power, all those things disappear. And hell, you might even have to kneel. But that's neither here or there. Let's get going. Let's get back to Hajj. As Yuno's like, alright then, bro. You might be going on a power trip. You need to calm down. As us is like, yeah, okay, I will. As they walk out, as Mimosa, when she heard the words of Asta, she was like, geez, this man is like different than what I expected it was gonna be. But she kind of understood his words, But when her brother wakes up because he got knocked unconscious, he says, come on, Mimosa, let's get back. You already have your grimoire. I don't even know why we came here in the first place. As Mimosa, the reason she did come there is because she also wanted to see the demon skull that was there in Hajj. But now she doesn't have enough time for that because her brother already wants to leave. So she heads back to the royal capital. As we cut back to Asta and get outside the Grimoire Tower, and they're met face to face with a rogue magic knight. As the magic knight introduces himself as Revchi. As Enizuku, looks towards him and he says, what do you want? You pathetic human being. As Revchi's like, what did you just say to me? I dare you to take that back. Because if you don't, as he takes out his grimoire, I'll cut you up into 1,000,000 little pieces and take your grimoires. I'll keep you alive though. I don't want you dead and me losing this precious piece of merchandise. As Asta says, and who said you were going to even be able to touch me? As he releases his Zanpakuto, takes it out of his sheath, and he says, now, shatter, Kyoka Suigetsu. As then, Revchi notices nothing different, nothing out of the ordinary, and he says, what did that do? As Yuno was surprised by this too, because he didn't know Asta could do these things. As Asta says, what did it do? Try and hit me, you fucking bastard. As when Revchi tries to hit Asta, the chain just goes through him. As Yuno's surprised as well, he's like, what the hell? Asta, what is this? As Asta says, oh, I never told you about this. This is my sword's ability, what I already have. I don't have magic, but I have something known as Ryatsu, spiritual pressure. I also have other abilities that I can do, Hado and Bakudo. But those are something I'll explain later. My sword, Kyoka Suigetsu, is known as a Zanpakuto. Its first ability, the Chikai, allows me to use complete hypnosis, perfect hypnosis. It can mess with all your senses, making you believe whatever I want you to believe, whatever I want you to see, taste, feel, hear, anything. That's why I'm standing right there, when in actuality, as he releases it, and all you see is Reggie slashed in the middle, as his body splits apart, as his guts, his brains, everything just comes flooding out of his body as blood splatters all over the place. As Asta gets out of the way of the blood, so he doesn't get anything on the Shuhak show. As then, is kind of intimidated, but he's also kind of like, damn, that was badass as shit. As Asta was like, yeah, I know, right? As, Yuno was like, but how did you do that? Like, you never told me about this. As Asta says, it's a long story. I'll tell it to you another time. But for now, let's get back to Hajj. As they get back to Hajj, and the 10-month training period, I believe it was that long. Or no, it wasn't that long. I think it was way shorter, actually. It might have been a month or so. But, they do their little training period and the time skip to the Magic Night exams. Asta and travels duo, obviously. As they say farewell to everyone in Hajj, as Asta's been able to, communicate with the devil inside his grimoire, just a little though, because it's a very stubborn being. Asta's come to know that for a bit now, as he's more talking to his Zanpakuto, and as they arrive there in a day's time, because Asta doesn't need to run and shit, so they get there pretty quickly. And because they got there in a day, they also had a race, and obviously Asta beat but not by a lot, because has grown a fucking lot stronger. And so when they arrive at the royal capital, or whatever it's called, I forgot. I think that's right though. They go to the entrance exams. They sign up, the guy checks their grimoires. He sees that, has a 4-leaf, and he's like, wow, that's amazing. I've heard rumors about someone getting a 4-leaf, but I didn't know they were true. That's amazing, kid. Well, where are you from? As says, I'm from Hajj Village in the Forsaken Realm. This guy's even more astonished. You're from this Forsaken Realm? Amazing! Well, you better represent your town well, kid, because this might be your one and only chance. But, what am I saying? If it's a true 4-leaf, then you'll get in for certain. Next, please. As Asta goes up, and when he takes out his grimoire, he sees that it's all white, no outline, no nothing, no trim. As the guy's like, is this completely white? As Asta says, no. Turn it around. As the guy does, and he sees 5-leaf. Then he says, what's a 5-leaf? As Asta says, oh, you've never heard the rumors? The tales about it? As the knight's like, no, never. What are they? As the people in the line are like kind of intrigued. As Asta says, with a very intimidating voice, oh, the rumors say that a 5-leaf always holds a devil inside of it. And let me tell you this, I can testify for that rumor. Well, who knows? I might just be pulling the tail with that one. Well, you'll just have to figure it out on your own. Thank you. Can I go in now? As the knight is frightened, he's shook, as well as the people in line, because that voice was scary as all hell. As the knight says, no, you can go in. Have a nice time, sir. As Asta says, sir, I've never heard that one. Thank you. As Asta walks in, meets up with as he says, we're finally here, little brother. How do you feel? As says, I'm feeling great. What about you, big bro? Asta says, I'm feeling amazing. Hell, I feel like I could take on an entire army. No, I feel like I could take on the entire world. As Yuno says, now, Asta, calm down. Like I said earlier, power trip. Don't do that. Asta says, nah, I feel really confident about myself. Well, let's see which squad I'm gonna join. As Yuno says, yeah, I'm thinking about that too. I want to join the Golden Dawn, but I heard they only accept nobles and royals. As Asta says, who knows? You have a 4-leaf. They might even let you in just because of that. As Yuno says, yeah, you're right. What about you, Asta? Which squad do you want to join? As he says, I want to join the Black Bulls. As Yuno says, why the Black Bulls? You know they're the worst squad, right? And Asta says, that's the purpose. That's the reason why I want to join them. I'm gonna make them the best. Because of me. As, it's like, alright then, man, if you feel that confident about yourself. But hey, look, it's starting. And that is where I'm going to be ending off part 1 to what if Asta had Kyoka Suigetsu. Hopefully you enjoyed this part. Tell me what you think about it in the comment section below. Leave a like. And if you have not already, or if you're a new watcher and you stayed through to the end, subscribe. But other than that, I'm gonna catch y'all sexy ass motherfuckers later.